everyone, and welcome back to another EXP Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Burroughs, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Luan.
Hello.
And Kim.
Hey, everyone.
Today, we're going to be talking about working while a student, and to discuss it, I'm joined by two guests, Beccy and Luna. Can I get you guys to introduce yourselves, starting with Beccy?
Hello, I'm Beccy. I'm a 3D character artist. I just graduated from Staff's Uni, and I started doing freelance work about a couple months ago. Recently, I've been talking to a game studio about doing an internship with them.
And Luke?
Hi, I'm Luna. I'm a 3D character artist intern currently at Larian Studios.
Very nice. So to start us off then, let's talk a bit about the why you guys wanted to do your internship / freelance work while you were studying or in your studies, and what you hoped you could get from that. So, do you want to start us off, Luna?
Yeah, sure. For my internship, actually, it's part of our curriculum at school. So in our last year, we do some group projects, we do a personal, like technical research, and then in the final semester, you can do an internship. So it's part of the school, but it's also really interesting opportunity to get some actual experience in a production. So that was really nice.
Does the school help you find those internships, or do you just have to search yourself and hope that you can land one?
No, the school is actually pretty helpful with it. They organize an internship fair a few months in, so they also prepare you. You get talks with like one of the teachers to take a look at your portfolio together, figure out what you want to do, and then they help you, they talk to you. And then on the internship fair, they invite a lot of companies, some from just in Belgium, a lot from abroad, and you can show your portfolio to them and get
You
started
say
talking.
it's part of the curriculum to get an internship, but is it, if people don't get it, is that a problem, or what happens? Does everyone get one?
Yeah, everyone has to get one, but there are a lot of smaller studios in Belgium as well, so they easily get placed there if they don't find anything. And if you really can't find anything, you just have to do it in the next semester.
That's interesting, because the UK, we don't have, at least I'm not sure, Beccy, because when me and Luan went to uni, it wasn't mandatory to have an
No.
internship.
I mean, there's definitely not a lot of places here that do.
Especially for art.
internship. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like, if you get one, congratulations, you're special.
Yeah.
If you don't get one, tough shit, really. That's kind of, is it still the same?
No, yeah. For our uni, it's, I know like some of the programming courses have internships, but as far as I know, I don't think many people get internships. At least like in like second year, for doing art stuff.
Enjoying the dog in the background.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I like it.
We've got a sixth member.
Yeah.
It's
With
That's
all
what they
six-
have to say.
He's just very angry by the sounds of it.
I mean, the state of internships within the UK is no barking matter.
Good God, Kim.
I'm sorry.
But
Okay.
so these internship fairs that you go to, Luna, in Belgium, like,
Yeah.
how many companies sort of turn up to these things? Is it just for students at your uni that can attend, or like, for example, could people abroad from, I don't know, Beccy's uni turn up and try to land an internship?
Oh, wow. I actually don't know. I don't think anyone from a different school actually showed up to our internship, but I don't think there would be a problem with that. But they invite a lot of companies to like our school. So they just all set up there for an entire day, and everyone can just go talk to them. So I guess if you sneak in, they probably wouldn't know.
Probably not.
That
So
is the
how
way
did
to do
you-
it.
Yeah. So how did you manage to secure this Larian Studios, right?
Yeah.
Was that the only one that had? Did you have tons of like offers from like a handful of studios, or were they the first ones and you just jumped on board with them?
No, I talked to a few different studios, but I mean, I got a few offers from other places, but Larian was my number one. So after the internship fair, I sent them like a mail. Hey, I'm still really interested. So if you have an art test, please send it to me. And then we started talking from there. And when I got the offer, it was like immediately, yes, this is the place for me.
Nice. So how did you prepare to kind of secure these positions? Obviously you prepare your portfolio, but is there anything special that you did? Or obviously, like you said, you wanted to work for Larian Studios, so like how did you ensure your portfolio ticked all those boxes that they're looking for?
Well, I mean, now I'm going to give advice that I didn't really follow at the moment, but I think that's pretty common. But showing that you're really motivated to learn is a good thing, because the internship itself, it's just a big learning opportunity. So not just showing projects from the school is a big plus. Like working in your free time and making actual personal work that shows your motivations, then they can see like, hey, this person is actually motivated and doesn't just want to get good grades and actually wants to work in this industry. And also maybe shaping your portfolio so it would fit in the studio that you're applying for. So they can look at your work and like, yeah, this is something we can see in our studio. So that really helps.
Yeah, I agree as well. Also, I think personally for me, I've been taking part in like a few competitions to try and get my work out there, basically. And one of them was Search for a Star, which I actually managed to come runners up in, which was crazy. I didn't expect, but that managed to get like industry people's eyes on my work, and also at our uni for the third years, we had like a little summer showcase competition, and I came first in that one. But
Fire.
that's where my opportunity for the internship actually came from. They saw my work on that and contacted me, so that's cool.
I think we've had a couple of people here at TIG from Search for a Star, so they do place a fair few people out every time that they do it, because it's every year, right? They do one.
Yeah, one per year. So I guess in general, like the competitions are worth it for the extra reach as a student, especially.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, the rookies is a very good one to get your name out there, and because it's all student work, so you can really show off some stuff there.
Did you enter the rookies?
Yeah, I did.
Not this year, no.
Oh, next year? You will next year, or are you still a student?
I think you can still join as long as you don't have more than a year of professional experience. And actually, an internship part of your education doesn't count. So I think I can still join once next year. But that's it.
All right,
Would you guys say that it's sort of like, if you had to give yourself advice now, like say 1 year, yourself from 1 year ago, would you say to like focus on trying to do these sort of competitions or something else?
I mean, you can do both, right? You can make a really cool personal project that you say, yeah, this really represents my skill level that I want to show to the world, and then just enter a competition with that, because usually it doesn't really have a team. The rookies doesn't really have a team. You just show your work and post it there, so you don't need to make like something separate for it.
Yeah, the rookies is kind of like you can kind of post your portfolio, like the best bits, can't you? So you don't necessarily have to make a completely new piece of work for it.
No, you can already reuse a piece you already have from a while ago, which is kind of nice.
The hard part often can be nailing down what you want to do, because stuff you kind of university offers a bit of everything, really, isn't it? Where you get to taste all the different things, but the industry is so focused that it's really important to try and work out
as early as you possibly can, kind of where you want to go. It's good to taste everything, but trying to reel that in can really help in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. Because I also noticed I went through the same thing around the end of the second year. I realized, like, yeah, okay, I have pretty good grades on this and this, but is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? And then I said, no, I want to do character art. And then you have to start focusing on personal projects and actually making character art, because if you are just an all-round artist and you have great grades, but nobody actually cares about the numbers in the end. They just care about your portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's true. So how do you guys stay motivated, like especially as a student? Because I don't know about Luan, but when I was a student, I used to look up to like Josh Lynch and Daniel Tiger and think, crap, like how am I meant to make work like that? So how do you stay motivated when you're working on your personal work and you know, like, I want to make characters? That's what I want to get into.
I think for me, so in my second year of uni, I like discovered making characters, and I knew that. Well, a lot of people say, like, you know, it can be more difficult of a I don't know, a specialization to go into, or maybe like there's less jobs, or I don't know if any, like, what's true, but I basically just picked it because I love doing them, especially stylized stuff, which I was thinking at the time, like, I don't know, do I specialize that much, or, you know, does that make my chance of a job like less? But overall, I basically just went with what I love doing, and I think that really helped with the motivation. I just really enjoyed what I was doing, and it didn't really feel like work. It was just
I think that's a
good
really
time.
important thing. I think a lot of students specifically, they just do whatever they think is going to get them the job rather than what they want to do, which honestly I think kind of shows in interviews and portfolios. It's like you can kind of see a lack of passion, but like it's missing something. It's like it's missing something really like a slight soul to it, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
definitely think that's like some terrific advice to just really do what you want to do, what you're passionate about, rather than just another overgrown street or whatever
Or a
the
sci-fi
generic
corridor.
thing is nowadays. Yeah.
Hey man, sci-fi corridors.
Mate, not now. Yeah,
Oh, what a combo.
but it does show, and especially in interviews when you ask them like, why did you do this, and they go, I thought it was cool. Okay.
Yes. Speaking of interviews, though, like, what was the interview like with the, I don't know, the company you're talking to at the moment, Beccy, and the same with Luna at Larian? Like, what's the interview process like for an internship? Is it the same as a full-time job, or do they ask other questions like study related, things like that?
Yeah, it kind of felt like a normal interview, really. It was very chatty one, which was good. It was quite relaxed. I had two interviews. So the first one was basically with one of the artists, and then after that, I talked to kind of like the HR people, and they kind of told me more about the company, and just a bit more, like, yeah, it's the company stuff and like the actual offer and stuff.
Yeah, for me, we had a first talk at the internship fair itself. So just like showing portfolio, having a nice chat about some of the pieces on there. So that's also why personal work is very important, because if you just have the school projects, they know why you made it. They know what the point of it was. But if you have something personal, they can say like, oh, why did you make this? Oh, what is this? Are you interested in that? And you can have a conversation with that. Then afterwards, I sent a mail to get the art test. Then I did the art test, and then I was invited on site to just have another talk, and that was basically it. But also, they already know our school a bit, so they kind of know what to expect on skill level as well. So that also helps.
Did they give you any, when you were at the internship fair, did they give like any feedback on your portfolio that you kind of implemented, or was it just straight like, okay, your work's good, we'll send you the test?
No, definitely. We looked at a few projects together, and they asked a few questions like, how did you do this? And then I said something really wrong probably, and they said, oh, okay, we would definitely do it like this, so you should maybe look into that, or this is interesting, or have you worked with this software before? And yeah, so then I tried to implement that, but the art test was pretty soon after. So
Do a lot of internships require art tests? It's not something I actually know much about.
So the one that I'm being offered, from what I know, there's not an art test. So
I have a
I thought
vendetta
it was
against
more
art
tests
tests
on that one.
and purge them all. What did you say, Luan?
Yeah, I thought it was fairly common to not do art tests for internships because it's kind of just like a sort of like a real learning experience, right? And it's like at the end of it, you kind of become sort of the artist that you like sort of wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I guess
I've heard a lot of.
I guess it depends though, right? Because I guess if it's a specific style, then I think an art test is fine. I know Luna's working on. Well, I
yeah,
guess
you can
tell
say
us
it.
about- okay, Luna's working on Baldur's Gate, so I imagine there's like a specific style that they want her to work alongside. So
Yeah,
it
that's
makes
true.
sense.
Yeah, I think
But-
maybe. Oh no, go ahead.
No, go on, go jump for it.
Okay, maybe the art test, it's not just to say like yes, no, this person is skilled enough, but also like, okay, what do they have issues with? What will we maybe focus on, or do they have anything specific they really need to learn? Or
So with that, that sort of stuff, obviously Becky's freelancing, you're in house at the moment. Like, is that sort of would they not figure that out when you're in the studio? Like, okay, let's test them with this asset and see what they learn, or is it completely different to what you were expecting to be in house and working with clients? Like,
sorry, was that one for me?
a bit of both, really. 'cause-
Okay.
both of you.
Whoever wants to take it.
I guess I can start. So I guess for the freelance stuff I've been doing, it's obviously been like work from home. I guess it kind of is like kind of what I expected, but also like I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect because I hadn't done freelance stuff before. It's been a big learning experience of, I guess, like talking to someone in a professional way, like and learning about contracts and stuff like that. Which, it's been good.
That stuff's useful because not many students come out of uni knowing about contracts or
Yeah, for sure.
freelance rates or just kind of workflow pipelines to work with a team. 'Cause
Yeah.
as a student, you just work on your own project and you have your own workflows. But I imagine with a client or a team, you have to accommodate to fit in with everyone else's schedules.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Is it the
also
same at Larian?
yeah, in house. I mean, I also talked to a lot of students that already did their internship the year before me and stuff like that. So I kind of knew what to expect, or I thought I knew what to expect, but actually, like being in a production, being in house, it's still a big difference. So I mean, school can prepare you or try to prepare you, but still, you're gonna enter there and be like, okay, I know nothing.
So what's the major difference? Obviously, we have loads of students listening. Like one or two, what's the biggest differences that just kind of shocked you?
There's a whole lot of communication that you're not really used to in school, because maybe you're gonna work on some group projects, and even then they probably aren't very big groups, but yeah, you have to really work together as one team and communicate between the different departments, and then like, oh, I have a question about this. Oh yeah, we have to talk to this team about it. And okay, they don't know it either. We have to talk to this team about it. So you really have to, it's not just you making one project. It's really you having to work together with everyone to make something that works in the end.
For me, for the freelance stuff, it's been like, I guess, say the client like wanted a specific thing, and I haven't necessarily done that before, or like I kind of know about it, but I have to go and actually like, I guess, research and actually learn and go out of my comfort zone, to like make something that I haven't actually tried doing before, and I think it pushed my like artwork a lot. I think whereas in uni, I guess like with projects, sometimes you can like, I guess, like pick your own brief and kind of mold things to how you'd want to work, and like that's great because you can make something that you really want to make and it's going to be fun, but it doesn't necessarily, I guess, push you as much as maybe when you go into like actually doing a job.
What are kind of the main things that you'd hope to learn or that you have learned during your time working on these things outside of the university bit?
I think mainly, like without getting into really workflow or anything, just being in an actual production, because in Belgium the games industry isn't that big, so not all teachers really have up-to-date info on how the workflows are, how the pipeline is. So then you actually come in a production and everything is a lot different than you expect. Like we sculpted our characters in school, and then you go to a production, it's like, oh yeah, we work with scans and you have to do it like this and have to do it like that, and you're like, oh god, this sounds really like I should have known this, but I didn't. All stuff like that. So up-to-date info on how the industry works.
I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like what I just said last kind of answered it, but I guess yeah, just like the professionalism of like working with someone else. Whereas like at uni, obviously, like we had a collaborative project, we worked in a big group, but I think it just feels different when it's something that's being made, you know, for like someone who's paying you to work. Like there's that pressure, and also just like yeah, it's just a different experience. It's like I think for what I'd want for like the internship as well is just like the actual industry experience. Like you can't get that from uni, I don't think. Like it's just teamwork.
Sadly
but,
not.
yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
sadly you
even
can't.
if your tutor knows all about the workflows and industry stuff, it's just you don't learn until you're there. It's that simple, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like you realize how much you don't know once you've landed your first job. Really, like crap. Like I know nothing at the moment.
And you also
Literally.
feel really slow. Like you're in your final year, you're like, oh, I made so much progress, and then you just enter a production and you have all these senior artists and all these crazy, insanely good artists, and you're like, oh my god, I am the worst.
Then suddenly you also have schedules and tasks
And
and
meetings, and you're like crap. Does that worry you at all, or do you know that they understand?
No, they are, I mean, it's an internship. They know you are a student. They don't expect you to be senior level, and they are there to help you. So in the beginning it's kind of like, oh god, I don't want to show what I have because I don't have anything and it's bad, and oh no. But then they help you and they give you feedback, and you have to get over that fear to like not want to show your work because it's gonna be bad. You just have to be like, okay, they are definitely here to help me, to make me improve, and I should take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things. Like at least from my first year at uni, just starting to show your work and not be protective of it for the most part. Like it's always bad. Just let someone give you feedback on it.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
at our uni, like we basically had like a forum that we'd have to post to like update. So I don't know. I don't know, like lots of people who don't like doing it, but for me, it kind of helped get into that like process of constantly like showing your work and getting feedback, and then also like that kind of pushed me to like do that onto like social media and like Discord and stuff as well, which I think helps. Just like actually posting whips everywhere, get feedback.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine working like a week for your client and not showing any progress, and then you show them progress after like 6 days, and they're like, "Look, this isn't what I wanted. You just wasted the entire week." So it's good practice to get into.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's a really crucial skill. Like for all students, I couldn't recommend enough. Just like show your work, get some feedback. Even you don't have to implement every piece of feedback, and you don't have to necessarily listen to some of the feedback that you feel like it's not doesn't really go with what you're doing. But it's important to show your work and understand critique. Like really, really important.
Yeah, I think also to stay motivated, just reminding yourself like these people also started from zero, or they also had a beginning phase where everything looked pretty bad, and just reminding yourself of that also helps. Like, okay, they got here, so if I have a lot of years and I take all this experience and learn from it and apply all this feedback, I will also get at that level at one point.
You really need to be as open-minded as possible.
Yeah, take time. Well, I think it would be interesting to know what you both were hoping to gain from the internship, because Beccy's going to be starting one. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So good to start with you to know what you're hoping that your internship will provide to you, and then obviously Luna's already in an internship, so we can see if they align for the most part.
Well, it's like the industry, just working as a team, like a big team as well, and like on something that's actually going to be, like published and seen by lots of people, and also I think there's so many things. I'm just kind of like excited about it, but I'm like, I don't know.
So you want to work on a published title?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's one of the big things. It's always exciting.
I think like everyone always says, you learn so much joining like the industry, and how quickly you learn as well. And I just think that just will be the most valuable experience. Just that can push me really, really far in my work. You get to work alongside like really, really awesome artists, so that'd be it.
And potential job afterwards as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for me, it's just actually, it's better than anything I could have expected or hoped for. This is just living the dream, actually. Just being part of a team that really enjoys doing what we're making, and just being part of this one big game, and seeing or reading fans talk about it and talk about your work. It's just, I don't even know how to describe the feeling. It's just in the end, at the end of school, or around like the third year or something, sometimes you start doubting yourself. Like, you see all this insane work on ArtStation, and you see your student projects, and you're like, shit, is this really for me? Is this really what I'm gonna be able to do for the rest of my life? But then actually being in like a studio that's really passionate and really like your type of games, it's just like, yes, okay, I do want to do this for the rest of my life. This is absolutely my passion. So just being in a team and working on something really special, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think as well for the internship, like it's a really good opportunity to actually see if you want to be in the industry. Like it's like I guess for internships, like usually like 6 months or to a year, so you're kind of like jumping in, you're testing it out. Because I don't, the industry might not be for everyone. I think for me, like I'm very excited about it, and I think it will be. But
you're testing the water.
Yeah.
I wonder if it depends a little bit where you go, though, because I feel like some internships might be a little bit more of the, for lack of a better term, the shit jobs,
Yeah.
which is like making proxies, making LODs, that kind
I
of
love
stuff.
making LODs. What are you talking
Doesn't
about?
everyone?
Best part of the job.
And I think that might put some people off. Like, I'm sure people try to accommodate for those interns and go like, okay, let's try and get to make as much art as possible. But obviously in a production, not everything is art, and some productions are more focused on that technical aspect than the art aspect. So I wonder if it can put some people off. And
Yeah.
it completely depends where you go.
Definitely. An internship, I mean, I think I got really lucky with mine, but a few people I know, it wasn't always that great, or they like signed up to do something, but then had to do really boring jobs all the time, and they didn't really feel like they learned anything. Or sadly, the sad truth is also like internships are often unpaid. So a lot of companies, or some companies out there, will definitely just say, yeah, we're doing an internship. You can learn a lot here, but they are just after free labor.
Free labor.
Sadly.
But with your internship, I mean, no breaking NDA or anything, but I guess you work on the characters, you're doing all the art side of things, all the fun part of the project, right? None of the LODs or the collisions or anything like that.
I mean, I'm not really gonna go into detail, but I
Yeah, of
get to
course.
work on a lot of different aspects. So yeah, some sculpting. Some parts are a bit more technical and kind of boring, but it's part of the pipeline. So if you only want to do the fun stuff, you just have to work at home and do personal
Yeah.
work all the time. But it's as much as a learning opportunity as the other stuff. But yeah, I got lucky and I can do like a lot of different things in the pipeline to really
That's
learn.
good. That's good to hear. But so with the internships, when you're both looking, or when you were looking, would you have taken any internship? Like if one was on the table and that's all you had, would you take it regardless just for that experience? Or like, do you have any advice for students that might be in that predicament where they're like, crap, should I take this or not? Do I just do personal work instead?
For me, because I actually live in the Midlands, like with my partner, we bought a house. So for me, it was like it kind of cancelling down my opportunities a bit, but I wanted it to be like kind of nearby, so at least I could travel to it. I preferably didn't want to move, so that was something that I kind of had to think about when looking for the opportunities, and also just even like ones that could potentially like be flexible and like work from home sometimes or something. The one I'm actually been getting an offer for is work from home completely at the moment, so that's actually a great thing for me because
Kind of
I don't
hope
have
it
to
is at the
travel.
moment, to be honest.
Yeah. So for me, like that's pretty great. But the actual studio as well isn't too far away, so I can travel there.
I
For
mean,
traveling.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm pretty much done. There you go.
Okay. I mean, a lot of internships can give great experience. So you can definitely aim for like your number one, your top internship. But if you don't get that one, it doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. A lot of experience, it can just, maybe it won't be the production experience you expect of it, but in the case of my school, we have to do an internship. So I mean, it's gonna be experience either way, and you can still try to work on personal work after your hours, and once it's over, you can still do other stuff.
Gotta stay motivated for the personal work there.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, especially after a 9 to 5 or whatever the hours are, like 8 to 7. I don't know.
Yeah, in the beginning of the internship, it was so hard to just like sit down and work on personal work because I've just been working all day. I thought school was a lot, but then you have like a 9 to 5 job and you go home and you still have to make your food and oh God. But now, I mean, I've gotten into like the rhythm of it all, so I can still work on stuff.
Yeah, I think this is it's a huge topic, right? And it's like something we discussed a little bit before, but it's after work, especially as you gain more and more responsibility in your work, and you get more and more drained, especially creatively, and you get home and you make your dinner and you watch something to just unwind for the day, and then it's, oh look, it's bedtime and I don't want to do any work. It's really difficult to keep that motivation. So props to people that do. But I think it's important to say that they shouldn't feel like they have to be doing personal work all the time as well. Like it's important to unwind. So I think it's yeah,
It
it's
is
just
hard. Like,
it's very
Yeah.
I
difficult.
sometimes feel bad if I don't do personal work. I've gotten better, but yeah, it can be difficult, especially I guess on the first job as well. Like you feel like
Exactly.
I gotta keep up with all the, like Luna was saying, there's so many good artists in the studio. Like crap, I need to keep up with them because they're so far ahead.
You got to make sure the juniors don't burn themselves out and overwork themselves. It's very, very important.
Yeah, it's really important to get like a hobby that isn't your work, because that's kind of the problem when you try to make your job out of your hobby. It's like, okay, now your hobby feels like your job. So
Exactly.
doing something else, just completely different, picking up some exercise or going out with friends, just taking time for yourself is really important as well. I should probably listen to my own advice.
I mean,
Do
Just
as I
saying,
say, not as I do.
game dev exercising and going outside. I'm not sure about that.
yeah, I usually end up just like being at my PC a lot of the time, and then even when I guess like if I'm playing a game or something or trying to relax, I still feel kind of guilty just like being at my PC doing that. So I usually like actually going out and away from my PC definitely helps with that.
It's important. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah, or even if you like just making art in a different style could also help. Like just something that isn't your job, something that feels refreshing to you, something that feels like just a hobby. That also helps because now I am focusing for my portfolio on more realistic stuff. So sometimes just sitting down and doing something stylized is just, it's nice for me.
I recommend cooking.
We're going into the cooking show now. But working on a different style, like, does that still not feel like work? Because I've been in the same predicament where work is realistic and at home I'll do stylized or vice versa, but it still feels like work at the end of the day because we're still doing 3D, still making models, unwrapping. Everyone loves unwrapping. So
That's good.
does it not feel like work for you if you change the style? Is that enough?
Probably not, but I mean, I can give all the advice in the world, but I'm still not following it. So yeah, I'm just working on stylized stuff now, but I should probably take a bit more time and actually do something else. Like read a book or something.
I should start reading as well.
So we have a few Patreon questions now. Kieran has asked what the most important lesson that you've taken away from uni is that isn't actually related to the games course itself.
For me, I think it's actually being able to work with everyone. Like, because I mean, in any, I think like in any industry, really, like a lot of them, you're going to be working in a team, and actually working with other people, and just not being a dick, basically. Like, I don't think I taught that, but it just that's that kind of. I guess that's what like. I'm trying to think of the words.
Losing the words.
Yeah, I guess so. That for uni, it's a big thing that you kind of you get to meet a lot of different people, and that's I think a really good thing about at uni that you don't necessarily just get taught it. It happens,
Has that helped your networking skills online?
For sure, yeah. Like I
with
don't know.
networking with
I'd say like before uni, I mean, even now I'm still a little bit like I guess like a shy person, but uni really brought me out of my shell, and I got to meet loads and loads of people, and you got like connections in the industry as well, which is great.
I'd say like that was also my favorite thing about university. Like games course aside, just the socializing aspect of it and meeting people was just really great and really helped me grow as a person.
Yeah, I would also agree with that, actually. Not to take the easy way out, but just socializing with people, not being on your own in your room and working on your projects 24/7, but meeting new people, it's really inspiring as well to see someone else's view.
Would you go back to uni again, like given the chance?
God, no.
I really enjoyed it. I would.
Yeah, you know what? I think I would.
I mean, I enjoy my school for what it gave me. We saw like the basics, and it's really not a bad school, but I wouldn't go back. Like you can learn everything on yourself as well, and I don't think it has anything new to give me now. Or
There's
if you
so many tutorials online
yeah,
you can learn from, right?
or if you mean like, would you do it again, or do you regret it? Then no, I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, no, I meant would you do it again, basically?
Oh yeah, okay. But also in Belgium, and I don't know how it is over there, but it's way cheaper than some stuff I heard online. So if you're in
cheaper.
America or whatever,
We pay 9,000. We pay 9,000 a year in the UK. So I'm not sure what it's like in Belgium, but it sounds amazing, and I think everyone should just move to Belgium if you're listening.
God.
As far as
get an
numbers
internship
go,
as
I think
part of
I'm
your
still in
curriculum.
debt by like £56,000.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, it's like 1,000, 2,000 a year, something like that. But I know
Easy.
great.
that's for Belgian students. So I think if
So
you're
get a citizenship.
international, if you're
Yeah, let me
international, it's a bit more
Easy.
expensive, but still.
Damn, that's a good price.
Kyra's asked about your thoughts on setting rates as students / new graduates for freelance work. So I guess this one is mostly for Beccy, as you've been doing freelance work more.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I was pretty clueless at first. I basically asked all the people I know that have done freelance.
Didn't you ask me?
Yeah, I did ask you. I was going to say, I asked you. I just asked in Discords in general as well. I got like a few people, different opinions on it. I think just a handful is useful, right? And then also just Googled it and looked at like the general ones. And I was thinking, well, because it's like my first one, I don't want to go too high, so I don't know. I basically, I guess I chose a rate that was like maybe a slightly higher than maybe I was like wanting, just to see like what they'd say, and they were fine with it, and they just went with like a slightly lower rate, which I was happy with because it was basically what I wanted. So yeah, I think it was just ask people, and if you don't know anyone, I guess join Discord communities, ask people, and Google that.
Do you not get worried that the rate you'll send could make you lose the job potentially?
Yeah, that was
Like you can overshoot to the point where they're like, "Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy."
for
Get
sure.
out of it.
That was a worry. I just went with it. I was like, well, this is I can't just not say anything. Like, if they're like, oh no, I definitely can't do that, then like obviously I just have to rethink it. I don't know. Like the person that I'm working for, like they're pretty nice. Like they're not just like instantly like no. So that was a benefit.
I've never seen anyone say no straight away. Like you'd expect some sort of negotiation, back and forth, fingers crossed. So anyone listening, I wouldn't worry too much about them running
You
away.
can also.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, you can also just like try to turn the conversation around and ask for their budget.
This is a good one. That is actually really good advice.
Or I mean, maybe like say like this is my rate, but I'm open for negotiation if you're really not sure. But maybe don't mention it. And if they seem put off, then say like, okay, what's your budget? So we can work something out that works for both of us.
Yeah.
But know your worth. Don't undersell yourself, please.
Yeah, that is a big one. Like I know a couple of people that just kind of undershoot the market just to secure the job, which I guess makes sense for people trying to land their first like freelance job, just freshly graduating. But like Luna said, you should know your worth as an artist. It just
How
impacts
about
everyone.
comparing to other industries? Have you found that useful at all? Because I know some people quite found it really useful, and I don't know if maybe it's like a universal thing where you can compare to I don't know, like for example, how much plumbers make and be like, okay, so if these people make this much, I can maybe take a fraction of that, and that's a good sort of baseline thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked at McDonald's, so like I get paid more than that. So I was like, at least I'm getting paid something that's I've gone to uni for it, and I'm getting paid more for like a job that I've actually studied for, which is at least I think that's in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Something else that you have to consider as a freelancer that a lot of students might not remember is that you do also have to pay for all your own software and licenses.
Yeah, for sure.
And these different factors. So it's stuff you've got to take into account and making sure that you are getting paid more so that you can cover your costs. So you would expect a freelancer to make more than someone in-house just because of the additional
exactly.
costs that they have to face.
Software is expensive, man. Like that stuff adds up.
Another thing to take into account is to make sure that you you're protecting yourself as well with things like clauses to cover revisions, because you don't want to end up saying that you'll do the work for X amount, and then the client comes back and says, can you change this and this and this, and then you end up putting loads and loads more hours into the work that you're not getting paid anymore for.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I have in mind.
Otherwise, you'll be doing changes forever. Which I think I did on my first freelance job, because obviously, like I said, you're excited to work for someone, so you don't question revisions, and before you know it, they've asked for 10 different changes, and you're not getting any extra money for it. So
Yeah, but think about the exposure.
damn it, Luna.
Exposure
You got
buttons.
me. I'll take 10 exposure coins, please. Why not? Yeah.
And Rory has asked what it was that made you guys want to pursue 3D as a career in the first place.
Should I go first?
No, that
Or
easy.
So for me, I guess just like growing up, like playing games and stuff, especially World of Warcraft is like my favorite game, and I've always had this like thought of like, oh, imagine like working on this game and like being able to produce something that like people enjoy so much, and like that creates like a really awesome community. I don't know, that like in my head that was like, wow, that's like a dream job to make something that people enjoy so much, and that kind of like piqued my interest. And then I didn't really know like what I wanted to do just when I finished my A levels, and I was looking at uni courses, and then I saw games design is the one I took. So I saw that, and I was like, oh wow, I can actually go and learn how to make games. So yeah, I basically went to uni, and like in the first year it was very it was quite generic stuff on the games design course. So we did like a bit of like blueprinting and like level design, and we did like 3D and just like bits and bobs basically to kind of test to see what people like, and then you kind of like specialize in the second and third year. But yeah, like once I'd started doing 3D modeling in the first year, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is my jam. I want to do this.
So is game dev what you imagined when you saw yourself playing games, and you're like, it's going to be the exact same thing as making games is the same as playing them?
I think like I don't know, I didn't really know what to expect, and to like now I think looking back, like then I just thought, I don't know, it's a lot more like technical, and like there's a lot more to it than I've realized, but like it's a good thing because it's just so much to learn. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, I think I also have like the same story basically everyone has. Like, oh, I grew up with games. I always like drawing. I always like creating my own characters from when I was a kid. And then I was like studying Latin and math, and I didn't like it at all after 3 years. And I saw this one thing like, hey, do you want to make 3D stuff for games? I was like, heck yeah, I didn't know you could do that. Like, you always see these games growing up, but I never stopped to think like someone is making this. It was just like, oh, that's a nice game. And then you see
Simply exists.
I
It
can
just,
do this.
someone pops up.
Yeah. And then I went to a high school for art, and basically had like an intro to 3D and everything. And then I realized, yeah, this is really what I want to do. And then I went to college for it. And I always knew I wanted to be to do character art, because I mean, I can appreciate really good environments and stuff, but I personally always liked making characters and drawing my own characters and stuff. So that was never really a question for me.
So when you're playing games, do you look at the character models just as much as you can? Because when I play Assassin's Creed, I always look at the rocks.
Yeah.
I go straight for the rock. I'm like, that looks
I
good.
never get out of character creation, man. I don't even play the games. It's just
You're
No,
looking at the
definitely.
turntable.
It is interesting, like now knowing a bit more of like what goes into making a game, and then when you're playing them, just looking at all the little details and being like, oh, I wonder how like that was made, or oh, I know, like that looks like this method, or
the moment you figure out what a normal map is, and you're just looking at walls everywhere, like, oh my god, it is flat.
You position the camera right, or you're like, I need to get this flat. Is there any geometry all the time? I would love to be taught that way at uni, actually. Like, play a game and just run around and look, let's start analyzing the game and see how they've done things. And let's replicate that in our coursework, rather than, because our uni was teaching. I remember the first year we was learning like texturing in Photoshop, and then the third year they're like, look, forget everything, just ignore what you learn, and we need to learn substance in like 6 months.
Admittedly,
Me
those
and Luan
things
were
were
like,
still
crap.
relevant at that time. It's
Yeah,
just
of course.
we were at that transitional period.
Okay, so that about brings us to the end of our time. Thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to the podcast. Thank you very much to our two wonderful guests, Beccy and Luna. And thank you again to my co-hosts, Kem and Luan, for joining me. If you want to learn more about EXP, head over to our website and read some of the fantastic articles, or come join us on the Discord server and have a chat. Until next time, everyone, take care.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.